you are graduating from high school. Let's get started. One of the things that we'd like to know about is some of the transitions that have been the most remarkable or memorable to you during your school experience.
Well, one of the transitions that I remember the most was my transition between using the Dreamwriter and using a laptop. Back in 6th grade, I was using the Dreamwriter, and it was troubling because having to transition between the document format on the Dreamwriter into a regular computer, I actually had some documents lost, and also the Dreamwriter is so big it was hard to carry around. We were carrying around in a basically a crate on wheels, and because you couldn't keep in the Content Mastery Center back like you would in elementary school. And I had a teacher, Miss Schwabenland, 6th grade English teacher, who advocated for me and helped me get the laptop, and we finally did in my 7th grade year, which was she was continuing to advocate for me even after I was out for class. Another transition that was very noble would have to be during when I was first transitioning into high school. We're not as used to students using assistive technology in their classrooms, and since, unlike in middle school when all the teachers were on a team, there were 5 teachers who taught all the same students and they just rotated them around. It was all different teachers, so it wasn't like you could send a letter to a department or anything saying this student has assistive technology. So every year towards the beginning of the year of high school, there was the transition of getting the teacher used to students using their assistive technology in class, but that took a lot of. It was just a yearly transition you had to deal with.
Well, what were some of the things that you did to ensure that you could use your technology successfully as you moved from one setting to the other?
Well, one of the things that I did is I kept a yearly letter, which I sent out to all my upcoming teachers through my monitoring teacher, which was in middle school Miss Plum and in high school Miss King, and that would help inform the teachers of the assistive technology I was going to be using in their classes. Another thing that I got used to doing is I learned when it was best to use the assistive technology and when it was not, because in a lot of time in middle school I would be using my laptop for note taking, and because I felt that would work better. But then in high school I started to transition to taking notes by hand, I would slowly use my laptop more for essay tests and stuff like that, and less for day-to-day use. And that also, and I also started I started using as the years went by, I found out which technology was best to use and which was not, because I found out that the dictaphone or micro recorder was not working that well in the classroom setting, so I started using it more for homework purposes, and I stopped using the talking word spell checker entirely because it was not a useful. It just stopped being useful for me at some point.
What did some of the other people that were around you, what did they do to help you with your assistive technology?
Well, my monitoring teachers, Miss Plum and Miss King, would always talk with all my teachers about about that and about my use of assistive technology, and also Ms. Schwabenland, who helped me transition, get a laptop instead of the Dreamrunner. And I also remember that a lot of times the counselors and people at schools would make sure that students who are using assistive technology were in classes together, so serve as a sort of self-support group. And actually, one of my best friends right now, we both were two of the kids who used laptops at my high school, and we were some of the few who were in regular course flow, and we were both honors students who had to use assistive technology, and that was really a good support to have a friend like that who was in sort of the similar situation you were.
And were you helping some of the other students later as you were in high school with their assistive technology?
Yes. At one of the examples is the self-support that the counselors made sure to set up, where the students using assistive technology would do that. But also, when I was in 8th grade, I was in the PALS organization, and I did weekly volunteer work at the Mills at the elementary school. And one of the things that I did there was I volunteered to work with the special ed class there at my old elementary school, Settlers Way, and I actually helped some of them learn how to use their Dreamwriters. I remember that.
Tell us some things about how you learned to make choices about when to use technology, when it was appropriate, and what particular piece of technology would help you in certain situations, as well as you have been very instrumental in self-determination and making your own choices and determining when you needed to call people or get support or that type of thing. Could you tell us a little bit, how do you think you got to be so self-determined?
Well, I've self-advocated for myself for a long time, probably because I have dyslexia, and also I suffer from familial Mediterranean fever, which is a form of arthritis, and Crohn's disease, which is the autoimmune disease of the inflammation of the small and large intestine. And because I was sick a lot in elementary school before my Crohn's disease was diagnosed, I did a lot of I had to self-advocate a lot, because when you miss so many classes, I had to call teachers and deal with the problems of missing that much class, and that definitely led me to be more self-determined. But one of the other things that sort of have always driven me is I did not want to be in, although I always have been wanting to be in the honors program but I'm special ed, so one of the things that I realized is if I want to still maintain my special ed support and also take honors classes and do that, I would have to self-advocate, because since I was taking honors courses, they would want to dump me out. They would want to dump me out of special ed. And I found that, if I self-advocated for myself, they would not dump me out of the program, because I still need my modifications. And it's because of that I've been able to maintain an honor schedule and graduate cum laude from my high school. So.
That's fantastic. Tell us about your plans now as you've just graduated from high school.
Next year, this upcoming fall, I'm going to be attending Schreiner University in Kerrville, Texas, out near San Antonio. I'm going to be a political science major and a religion minor, and I'm currently working on the application process, which is a one-year application tryout for the Honors College there at Schreiner. But I'm also going to be in the Learning Support Service program out there.
What do you think that you're going to need as supports in technology as you move forward?
One of the things that I still use a lot of is talking books is still something I use heavily. Mainly because although reading has become less and less of a problem as my mind has sort of put in measures to where my dyslexia is not as bad, long periods of reading are still certainly a problem. So when it comes to reading 4 chapters of a textbook in a night, or a book in 3 weeks for class, I'm still definitely using the Talking Books program. And Schreiner University uses the Kurzweil program, which is a computer-oriented talking book program. It's a software program that scans the book into your computer. And also, some of the things that I still have been using is my modification for no Scantron testing, because Scantrons have always been a problem for me. I don't know why, but they have. I'm going to definitely be using the laptop for essay tests and writing. My own laptop now.
Well, you have accomplished a lot, and we congratulate you on all you've accomplished, and we'll look forward to following you now to see what's going to happen as you go to college. So thank you very much, William, for coming today and talking to us.
Thank you.